I'm Anna.
I'm Ben.
We're AutoSave. Welcome to our channel.
To Dungeon Meshi, Season 1, Episode 24, the season finale. How long do we have to wait for Season 2? I have no idea. Hopefully it's not too long.
I think since we're not, watching this right when it came out, there's been some time. So hopefully that means for us that any next season will be like right around the corner.
Yeah, this is a show that we added on to our schedule just because we had heard the name and we thought that we might like it from the vague name idea that we had, and I've enjoyed it a lot. Last episode was quite desperate, might I say, in terms of Senshi's agony on whether he ate a person or not. But thankfully, by the end of the episode, we have a good answer to that question, but we have also changed the shape of our bodies.
Thanks to changelings.
And we'll be back to normal at the start of this episode, sure.
Sure.
Ready?
Yeah.
Sweet. Last time we might hear the intro for a while.
Not even for a while. There was probably going to be a new one for a new season. I feel kind of nervous. I feel like there's some possible, ends to tie up with this season before, ending things before you'd possibly have a time period of waiting before another season.
I'm loose.
Just vibey. You're just here for some good food.
Loose.
I love the guy in the corner being like,
oh, and seeing it be this old dancing with Delgul. Yeah. Not back to normal yet. Oh.
一旦休憩を取ろう。今の姿、実年齢と外見年齢の差はどうなってんだ？ライオス、お前今何歳だ？26歳。60歳ほど。
Wow.
ドワーフはトールマンの2倍半の寿命というから、トールマンで26歳だと、ドワーフで65歳くらいか。さらに気になるのが残りの寿命だ。
Oh God.
年前と同じペースで年を取るのか、後者だった場合。俺たちハーフフットの平均寿命は50歳。お前はあと40年足らずでしわくちゃになって。
Jesus.
Wrinkles.
寿命が短いの？けど、ごく一部だ。
Rare.
Mortality.
俺が言いたいのはその場合、このキノコは都合が良すぎるってことだ。最近積んで他の人種になりたい奴は山ほどいるが、あのキノコを市場で見たことがない。つまりこの変化は一時的か、まずい副作用が。
Nasty side effects.
味にでもなりたいの？
そうじゃなくて、俺が考えていたのはファリンのことだよ。なんか全部うまくいって狂乱の魔術師を倒す。
もうしません。
I repent.
See, now it'll never happen.
私は何を？
やったー！地上に戻る。いやー、大変だったなー。怖がられる。やはり下半身が竜ってのは大変だと思うんだ。待って、もう少し聞いてみよう。下半身を穴で隠す方法しかし魔力の薄い人里では大型の魔物は生きていけない。そもそも人里でファリンは生きられないかもしれない。そこで例のキノコチェンジリングで下半身を小さめの竜に変えることさえできれば、ファリンも人里で暮らせるかもしれない。
He's really thinking about her future. I love that.
まあ、俺にも変身願望があるのは否定しない。トールマンってどうも特徴がなくて平凡というか。
ねえ、なんか変な音聞こえない？
Oh no. Okay.
ドワーフの異物の音じゃないのか？
石がぶつかるような、だんだんこちらに近づいてくるような。あ、わかった。ガーゴイルだ。扉をちゃんと閉めてこなかったのかよ。
We didn't even close the door properly.
マルシル、敵の距離は？
だからもうすぐそこだよ。
Oh!
Kind of wish we had the helmet. Oh no!
Kensuke!
No!
みんなの足元をうろつくな。
そう言われても。
もうどんくさいのは変わらずだ。こっち来い。
Oh!
なんだこの煙。ケンスケをよこしてくれないか。お。こんな形だったっけ？
いや、
の形が変わった。
もしかして今の煙は
チェンジリングの胞子？
でも キノコの輪なんてどこにもないのに。
俺たちの腕の輪をくぐった。
Oh, what?
We are the circle. We can become the circle. Oh.
飛び回りやがって。今すぐ全員手をつないで輪になって。状況見てもの言えよ。見てるよ。
Oh, okay.
ね、
Circle
どうす
it.
るのだここから。
私の予想通りならガーゴイルの姿が。
Oh my god.
What will it will it transform into something scary though?
そっちは壁だろ。こっちだ。痛い痛い。
Oh! No!
Oh.
Now's our chance. Now's our chance. They really wanted to bring the opening into the episode.
For real.
これガーゴイルか。
あいつは地上に降りてこないな。
どうやって腕の
He
中
saw
に
your
工夫
trick.
するか。
マルシル、
少しいいか。
いけそうだ。
やるか。
よし、
Oh god.
奴の間合いまで距離を詰めるぞ。攻撃を誘うんだ。
And then just like throw her into the air, like get it to go. That is what. Marcel really got the short end of the stick, didn't she?
来たぞ。覚悟はいいか。せーの。おで、マルス。
Oh, amazing.
何のことはない。体についた胞子を洗い流せば姿は元に戻るんだ。
Okay.
なんかやだ。
気にするな、ただの水だ。今の俺たちはキノコの苗床だ。なぜあのキ
Okay.
ノコがこんな性質を持つのかよくわかった。同族に嫌われる。
Mm.
死ぬ。ガーゴイルと違って俺たちが元の姿に戻るには時間がかかる。食事の支度でもしながら待とう。
もちろん。
Using it to heat.
こんな姿になってしまって。中身が変化して鍵になったのはキノコのせいとは思いがたいが、水洗いすれば治るんだろうか。
Like the sword changed, but what about Kensuke, you know?
それを茹でるぞ。
またあれか。別に食い飽きただけ。
食い焼きか。
自由だなあいつは。
皮がきつね色になったら引き上げ油を切る。
More like how Chilchuck eats them, right?
食が細い上に気に食わないと絶対に手をつけない。十分食わせるためには手間暇をかけないと。どうだ、伊豆墨。もしや。
形が変わった。
やはり。
Should we really eat that?
目を果たすようだ。
The mouth acts as a ring.
そんなもの食べて胃からキノコが生えたらどうすんだ。
Yeah, I'm wondering about the risk factor.
そうはならなかっただろう。消化は強い。さあ、食器を並べるのを手
Stomach
伝ってく
acid.
れ。
It'll handle things.
完成じゃ。
I love how they're all wrapped different
すごい
ways.
種類だな。
バロメッツの肉が入ってる。
ほう、羊肉か。具材も変わると。
Interesting. God. What?
甘いやつだ。
I want the cheese one.
何の肉だこれは。
Chilchuck just ate a human. From the intro.
あ、体が元に戻ってる。
くそ、寝覚めが最悪だ。
よかった。
本当によかった。
それじゃぼちぼち出発するか。そういや前にレッドドラゴンの肉で作ってなかったか。
ああ、あれは失ったのだ。
あ、そう。まあいいけどさ。
暑いのやだな。
Me either.
なぜ剣を布で。
Oh no.
これはその。
ちょっと見せて。
いやー、困るよそんな。
見せなさい。どうするこいつ。 みんなで輪になってボコボコにするか。今すぐ水で洗ってきなさい。
そっちはどうだ？
Oh, you returned to
あ
normal.
るだけで他に道はないみたい。
What?
This is crazy.
建物？
I mean, we got the idea of technology, right?
と中を見てみよ
もう動かないでしょう。
解体して売る
Look at Izitsumi.
いい値がつくんだよな。
Oh.
動いた。
戦士何したの？
う。説明書きがあるから読んでみる。まあ座っとれ。
This is like Made in Abyss.
Oh, I sure hope not.
魔法陣はかけたか？
多分いまいち作動してるのかよくわからない。ゆっくりだが熱は加わっているようだ。
お前たち兄弟はなぜ冒険者に？
俺？
一攫千金を夢見る手合いには見えないが。
話せば長くなるんだ。10代の頃、俺は故郷の村に嫌気がさして、町の学校へ行って兵隊に入ったんだ。
We learned a little bit about his
そこにも
past.
馴染めなくて、雑用をやりながら転々と南下して。近くの魔術学校でファリンが暮らしていたから、顔だけ見ていくつもり。どうしても自分も行くと言うから。
I mean, look at the state of you.
一緒にこの島にたどり着いた。
Wow, what a great picture. Beautiful music.
なんという将来設計のなさよ。お前はともかくなぜ妹まで
It's like a runaway
学校の方がいい
adventure.
クラスができたろうに。
ファリンの子供時代はあまり恵まれたものではなかった。魔術の才があったばかりに阻害され、
Shunned for.
周囲に嫌気がさして、俺は1年先に村を出てしまった。魔術学校に入るまで、いや、マルシルに会うまで、ずっと一人で食事をとった。
Aw.
俺よりはるかに精神が頑強だったから、案外何とも思ってないかもしれないけど、二度とファリンを置いていかないと決めたんだ。少なくとも彼女が選んだ新しい誰かが現れるまでは。
なんだよバッチーナ。パリンはよくいろんなものを拾ってきてくれた。よくわからない木の実とかよくわからない草とか、なんでいつも私のところって思ってたけど、
Chosen.
It never left after having the cuddle.
また一緒にご飯が食べたい。
ファリンはベーコンエッグだ。以前魂を卵に例えただろう。
Oh, I remember.
比べて井包などは具入りオムレツだ。頑張れば具を取り除くこともできるだろうが、卵がボロボロになるのは想像にたやすい。
下半身の竜を切り離せばファリンを人の姿に戻せると、さすがにそう単純じゃないだろう。
あの時わしは竜の肉で保存食を作っ、それらはすべて血肉へと戻りファリンと融合してしまった。わしらが夕食で食べた部位だ。他の生物に消化された肉は自己を失う。それは
Powerful
この生
digestion.
と死が曖昧な迷宮の中で唯一明確な掟なのだと。
Wow, interesting.
それでは竜の部位をすべて食べてしまえば、竜の魂のみを追い
That's
払うことができる。
The most fitting twist I could imagine.
なんというか、戦士がそんなことを言うなんて。
わしは今でも人の蘇生には反対だ。しかしファリンは今生きているし、お前たちはただ彼女を迷宮から解放してやりたいのだろう。その手伝いなら喜んでやろう。
竜の部分を食べる。しかしそれは一体何食分なんだ。
I was gonna say, is that where your curiosity reaches its stopping point?
他に何か代案あるか？殺した生物を自分のものにするために食べる。そうだ、なぜ気づかなかったんだ。今までずっとやってきたことじゃないか。
Yeah.
5人で頑張って1日1キロずつ食べても完食には10年以上かかる。
俺がキロ食えると思うか
We feed it to all of the Golden Castle residents that are still
他の
here.
者に協力を仰げばいい。
多くたちたくさん食べてくれそうで期待できる黄金城の住人たち。少し食欲に乏しいところはあるが、そこは人数や家畜でカバー。あとナマリやシロたち、あの二人を情に訴えればいける。あとカブルーも魔物食に興味がある。
Yeah, totally.
今のところそれくらいか。
いるじゃないか。
でも
Look at all the friends.
しかしまあ、これでこの先の目標ははっき
The
り。
Western Elves, that's another group that could help us eat.
最深部から有力の獅子を解放する。
Two.
獅子の助けで狂乱
Make him
の魔術
repent.
を無力化する。3、ファリンの竜部分を一緒に食べてくれる仲間を探す。がぜんに
That's
いけそうな気がしてきたな。
迷宮内に一個中隊はいねえよ。
なんだこの不快感は。
迷宮の空気がよどんでんだよ。お前たちが潜ってる間にまたかなり変わったんだ。見りゃすぐわかる。
Once you see it.
少なくとも後ろの連中には気に食わない変化だろう。
Oh.
そんなもの食べるな。
随分と騒がしいな。
歩きキノコ。ファリンの竜部分をステーキにした場合に付け合わせにするのはどうだろう。
What a great full circle
What?
ending.
銃の方がいいか。骨から
Unpleasant for the people behind us,
ファ
like
リンでこん
being
だ
the
け考え
elves.
てる場合じゃねえだろ。
ダンジョン飯。それは食うか食われるか。そこには上も下もなく、ただひたすらに食は生の特権であった。ダンジョン飯。ああ、
Eating.
ダンジョン
Line
飯。
of life and death being blurred. To be
To be
continued.
continued.
So we're gonna have the orcs help us eat.
Maybe that's what they're doing. They're carrying it.
It's cute that the two of them are together, especially
Yeah.
with some of the backstory we got. Walking mushroom.
Oh. Getting Thistle with Fallon
Fallon,
at the
as
end
if
was
they're-
super fascinating.
Yeah.
Oh, look.
What are Fallon's feelings going to be
I
about
know.
Thistle?
Okay, that was Dungeon Meshi Season 1, Episode 24. That's it for Season 1.
It was to be continued at the end. It better be actually to be continued.
I cannot think of a better solution for the format of the show
For
into
the
Saving Fallon.
plot,
And it,
for
like,
everything.
actually makes sense and it has a consistency that has been started from Episode 1 that makes sense. Like, yeah, that exactly what Senshi
just
said.
There was this picture of basically just lifting the humanoid half out of the dragon half, and then boop, she pops back into the human form, gets legs again, and then we just got to get a lot of people to eat it.
I wanted to see if I could, meat that has been digested by other creatures loses its identity. That's a really fascinating line, especially when it comes to this dungeon in particular.
I mean, it's definitely calling upon, like, one half of the episode to the next half of the episode. That
Mhm.
idea of, like, oh, should we really be eating these dumplings? Oh, well, we already ate the hippogriff meat. And once, I think Senshi says, like, the stomach is a really powerful thing, or digestion is really powerful. And clearly, if we're thinking about using digestion to bring Fallon back to normal, then clearly we think of it as a powerful thing.
Izutsumi's inclusion in the show has brightened my
It's
life
a special
up.
place for me in my heart.
Her just being like and fitting so well within the cast when I never would have assumed we'd need somebody like her in it. I think that she's a perfect counter to Senshi somewhat, but also seeing how she interacts with Marcille, like she was already lying on her lap before she started crying.
Mm-hmm.
And that has to be bleed over from, visiting the residents and her being what she is.
I think the ultimate showing of the bleed over isn't necessarily the laying on the lap thing, because if you think of like cat language, that's still I'm dominating you,
Yeah.
I'm doing this because I want to. It's that then once she cries, we see her like
Mhm.
think about reaching out and then inevitably let Marcille lay on her shoulder
Yeah.
crying. And I think that that's the showing of the real, like, I'm not going to deny that I like being close to you.
I really liked going over connections in the way that we did because it was a smart way to just like, all right, who do we have and who do
Sum
we
up everyone
trust?
we've met.
Yeah, but like it's nice to hear Laios talk about it because we've gotten, you know, the Toden twins or the Toden siblings, sorry, through like Kaburu's eyes, right? But to like recall on like the orcs and everybody else that we could or feel comfortable enough asking to do this is really nice to get from Laios. I loved everything we got for him in the backstory. Some of the best art I've ever seen in this series, I feel like, are the stills that we got of Laios and Fallon traveling. Like, oh my god, this is beautiful.
The fact of they're basically like runaways on this adventure together.
Yeah.
And the fact that he didn't want to abandon her again being the reason that he was looking for her in the first place before coming here. And then the fact that like he never has, obviously, within his heart, but he's trying so hard to get her back so that she's not alone. I mean, I think to like majority of the first half of the season, probably to like, I think it was like episode 16, that was like when the Red Dragon episodes was happening. It was around there. And up until then, it was like, oh my god, like Fallon sacrificed herself basically to send all of us back to the surface, teleportation magic, and is in the belly of the beast being digested. Oh, just bringing back that idea of like digestion.
Mm-hmm.
And Fallon was literally resorted to bone in this dungeon of life and death, having such a weird kind of relationship with each other. The eating blurs the line between the two. We have the fact that we resurrected in this dungeon someone who was completely eaten. Had they lost their identity, the idea of identity being attached to souls but also to the meat itself.
Yeah. I can't get over this still. I just keep staring at it. I love how delicate it is. I love how the fingers look, and then I love how they're drawn. There's so much attention to detail, and the composition's great.
I kind of wish that Laios still had hair that was like the same length as Fallon's.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be
It's
cute.
cute.
So obviously we get a little bit of what it's gonna be like for, I would say, the season 2 in terms of how things are gonna go. We kind of have 2 groups, and we know what they're doing, where they are, where their location in terms of the dungeon is gonna be. And with that, I kind of predict that we're going to be getting split POV, that we're going to be getting our group traveling in the lower parts of the dungeon, but we're also going to be getting Kabru, Shuro, Namori, and the elves in the transformed levels. Like, we're going to be seeing the dungeon that we've already seen in a way that we probably have never seen before. Like, we don't know what transformation means necessarily. And there's a line that's like, it's going to be unpleasant, but mostly for the people behind us.
Yeah.
You really got to think it's going to be the elves because that's who's directly behind them walking down the stairs. So definitely has my curiosity going crazy. Like, what changes has the dungeon made from the floors and the levels that we've seen?
I'd say that's going to be something I'm excited to see for sure. I wonder and feel like we might get, I mean, I feel like I'm wrong probably, but like just time with Thistle and Fallon, it could have just been nothing and it just season wrapping up, right?
I think
but
that's a good topic.
It's
I really
also
do.
something that I could totally see, like,
I think we need to talk about the familiarity, almost the comfortability that's within the scene itself. You know, there's an air about it that's like Thistle's, I don't know, there feels to be a closeness or a care. I could be reading it wrong.
There feels to be like a naiveness that Laios has that Fallon's exhibiting that ends up being so lovable, even to somebody like, I feel like, who's exhausted and crazy as Thistle, that it's hard not to imagine it like endears her.
Well,
to,
yeah, Fallon
has
endeared herself to so many different characters. I mean, so many characters that haven't even spent time with her, like Senshi, Izutsumi. They're both on this journey to save Fallon, even though they've never met her. Like, obviously, they have different reasons for why they're doing it and other motivations that add in with, you know, saving Fallon. But Fallon has endeared herself to the audience. The fact that she hasn't even been with us traveling for the entire series, and we absolutely love her.
Yeah.
You know, like, she has been endeared to us, so I feel like that definitely is a point to talk about, of like, if they're hanging out, if Thistle is having some sort of more of a relationship, more of a time with Fallon, what is that going to mean for what Laios is imagining beating the... Obviously, he doesn't imagine killing Thistle in his little imagination bubbles of what would happen. He imagines, repent, and I bopped you on the head. But what is it going to be for Fallon in terms of, like, okay, think of it this way. Like, Laios, in his beginning of his conversation, before we decided that we were going to eat the dragon half, is like, I could use the changelings to change her to like a smaller monster, smaller dragon. So, because there's not a lot of mana in villages, and that way she'd be able to survive comfortably. And he's thinking about life outside of the dungeon for her. But when we think about Thistle's life here in the dungeon, and the fact that he's created this as a safe place for the people that he loves, and Delgal already escaped that, how is that dynamic gonna go for both Fallon's feelings and emotions and Thistle's feelings and emotions if they end up growing closer, the pair of them?
Where would Thistle lie? Like, what's gonna inevitably happen between Thistle and the elves? Like, are we gonna end up coming to a situation where we're gonna be siding more with Thistle and Fallon against the elves, you know?
Right, like, is there a way that we can return some sort of balance, protect this dungeon? Because obviously we know the dungeons are really important to, like, the economy, and really important to the people that flourish in the villages surrounding them. And is there a way that we can protect this ecosystem and also save the people from the Golden Castle that have been trapped here? Keep Thistle happy here too. You know, is there a way that we can kind of make all the worlds happy, all of the people happy? The elves are not painted as those that would be super understanding to being okay with, let's just let everyone be happy. You know, they're not painted as they're gonna be compromising. Obviously, they're letting Kabru do what he's doing, and they're gonna watch him very closely, but they're not painted as a very compromising, very, like, let's see how this plays out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're like, we're gonna act now so nothing bad happens. That's kind of how they're painted.
I adored the whole, like, circle bit, like, trying to form circles to enact the change, but I really liked Senchi's using it for the changing of the dumplings, because, like, just the concept of, oh yeah, the mouth, that's a circle, it'll work, I thought was cute.
And just comedic, the little, like, Cupid statue.
Mm-hmm.
Not only do we use it to wash ourselves, but to help us with our cooking. Amazing.
Kensuke, damn it, the sword. Changed. Back.
Yeah.
I liked how it looked before. It was cool.
He looked kind of scary. I like Kensuke. We needed it to return to the winged lion look.
Yeah.
We got, like, a diagram of, like, where the winged lion is in terms of, like, where we are to some degree. I don't know how specific in terms of how the dungeon layout actually is. The diagram was.
Yeah.
But I do feel like we're probably setting ourselves up for something that we won't even be getting there until the end of a season 2.
I wonder what the winged lion is actually going to be, and like
is it a literal winged lion? Did it go through a changeling circle?
Maybe it's going to be like a Narnia-esque beast that is able to communicate verbally, you know?
Ooh, like Aslan. That's his name, right? Narnia?
I've never seen Narnia.
Did you read the books?
No.
Oh my goodness.
Was it a good comparison? Do you see what...
I see where you're going with it, but I'm just honestly really surprised you didn't even read the books.
Yeah.
Really shocking me there.
Well, I hope that season 2 comes soon.
I do too.
Do you think Netflix released all 24 episodes at once, or do you think they did a weekly thing?
Ooh.
I always prefer them doing weekly things.
If it was Crunchyroll that it was coming out on, I would be like, oh, it's going to be like a weekly release. But I feel like Netflix does either like chunks or everything at once.
Yeah. I love the technology this episode. I like we're like getting into something that we're going down. I thought
that
for a
was
second
amazing.
when we were heating up the tea and it was like wasn't work, it was just started bubbling. I was like, are we going to a different part of the dungeon that magic is going to work completely differently here or not going to work as well? Like, what if we got to a place that the only magic you could use is dark magic, and the reliable magic that even Laios knows a little bit of would be ineffective, you know?
Well, yeah, you think about the place that we're at is like a dwarf like stronghold, like, and that's definitely kind of on an opposite side from like the elves and magic. And we think about the relics that both are very protective of.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also getting Fallon's backstory in terms of like how she was shunned by her community for even having anything to do with magic.
We got
like,
to see a little bit of that graveyard scene again.
Like, how much is magic and going to come into play in terms of times where they're not going to be able to utilize it, they're going to need to utilize it? Is it going to have to be ancient or black magic? We're going to have to reach into that realm of infinity to help us out, or are we going to need to utilize other things, like the fact that Senshi can read the dwarf writing in this cool elevator train thing that we're on, and we use gadgets and gizmos.
Yep. All right, that's all I have you.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. We hope to see you next time.
I got who's its and what's its galore. Thingamabobs? I got 20.